What's up, YouTube? I'm just back with another video. And if you watched my last video, if you watched the end of it, you'll notice that I talked about how I was going to do this video talking about my training, nutrition, and workouts, and all that jazz. And I decided not to do that because mostly just because I find it would be kind of boring. Like, I don't really care to talk about my workout, make a video talking about what my workout is. Like, I just think that's kind of lame. And I also don't think anybody would really care to watch it. So instead, I'm just going to talk about my training mistakes. However, I think if I'm feeling like it later today, I might also make a video about a little bit touching my training, or sorry, my nutrition and supplements, because those two things are might be more helpful or interesting than my workout routine. Because my workout routine is kind of specific to how the accessories are chosen based on like what accessories work for me. You know, the sets and reps are chosen based on like where I am in my training and stuff. So yeah, that's why I'm basically not going to cover what my training is. To cover what my training was, I'm just going to keep making workout videos. But anyway, enough of that. So my training mistakes. So in 8th grade, so okay, I probably should have mentioned this. I've been, as I guess I call it, like exercising, as people say, for about 3 years, since 8th grade. But like that's not necessarily training properly or even training at all. That's just exercising in terms of just like sports and all that stuff. So I want to make that clear that it's not necessarily exclusively lifting weights. Okay. So in 8th grade, basically, um, well, going into 8th grade, kind of finishing 7th grade, I was kind of a skinny fat kid. Not even fat necessarily. I was just skinny and a little soft in the stomach or whatever, which is probably very common. Um, yeah, but for me, I felt kind of lame because my like in terms of sports, like my middle school is like the best sports in like all around basically. Like they just like beat up on all the other middle schools in all sports basically. So lots of the guys I was in class with they were like really athletic, and they already looked like reasonably muscular in 7th grade, which I mean at the time I thought they were muscular. Now I'd probably just be like, oh, that's a whatever. But anyway, so that was kind of hard, and I decided I really, really, really wanted a six pack, like so badly. And I did. I actually went on a cut. Now this cut, keep in mind, it's not like the bodybuilders that cut, where they're like, I'm gonna eat these macros, like this amount of protein, this amount of carbs, this amount of fat, and do my like fasted cardio or whatever extra calorie burning strategies they use, and I'm gonna do my best to not lose strength or whatever. It's not like that. It was not like that. It was completely unstrategic. It was like I'm just gonna move all day unstrategically, and then it was a very unstrategic method basically. I wouldn't even call it a cut. I just called it like I want a six pack, and I understand that like now I actually knew that you had to like get rid of the fat to get the six pack, but um, yeah, basically it's kind of hard to describe because I don't remember it too well, but it was just like I would not eat that much food, but I didn't even eat like necessarily very quality food. Like I remember part of this cut or whatever, I was on vacation in Florida, and I remember like I was eating like gummy worms and shit, and like it fit the calories. Like I was still in the deficit, but it was like it wasn't like I'm eating my like lean protein sources and stuff. I mean, wasn't eating very good quality food. It was just in a deficit. Um, and then I also did this thing. I went to Colorado and I did this giant hike. It was not just a day hike or anything. It was like 5 days long, and way up it was like way up in the mountains and stuff, I had to carry all my crap. And when you're like in an oxygen deprivated state and you're walking around for miles a day with like a big ass backpack, you're you're burning a lot of calories. So yeah, that was I basically lost like 3 pounds in a week, and it was like genuine 3 pounds. It wasn't like water weight and crap. And then I just kept dropping a few more pounds. So anyway, I'm gonna show I guess some pictures, just like a before and after picture. And then, as you noticed, I did get the six pack that had been wanting to get back then. And but then after I got the six pack, like I actually got like more strict with my diet and stuff. I started like I don't even remember like specifically what my diet was, but now basically it was like I honestly don't even remember. I remember it was like very strict, and it was probably like 1,600 calories. And I'd been like exercising during this period that I was cutting. Like I'd been doing a little jogging and a shit ton of sit-ups because I thought that would help me get the six pack. But at this point I went to the gym, and I was 13, and at my gym you have to be 14 to just like walk into the weight room and just start lifting stuff. But for me personally, I was just or when you're 10 to 13 years old, you can do this thing called the like youth strength training, and it's basically like you can use the machines. Uh, you have to wear a wristband to show that you have this certification, and 10 to 13-year-olds can do that. So I was 13, so I'm just like well, I could wait a year, but may as well just start lifting weights now, because I decided that I was going to start wrestling in the kind of late fall, so I may as well start getting stronger for wrestling season. So I also started lifting weights like 4 times a week, I think. And basically, I would go through the 8 machines, and I would do like 2 by 20 for each of them, 2 sets of 20. And that was my workout. So it was 16 sets of 20 basically on 8 different exercises. Yeah. Um, and yeah, so that's basically about it. And then wrestling season, I don't. It's not like a mistake, but obviously, and then I had wrestling season, and the wrestling practice was very very intense. Burned up a lot of calories that I wasn't really like making up for or adding to. And then the other thing is, in wrestling, people often want to way less. So because of being surrounded by everyone else being like wanting to weigh less, because I'm like, well, whatever. I'm dropping more pounds, and it's not a big deal. And I got down to 87 pounds. Um, yeah, it was not a good look. I was like very frail looking, and it was not good. And even after wrestling season, I was still like being really strict and stuff. And I also just to make a long story short, I did not have a very good wrestling season in eighth grade, and to make up for that, I was doing more like working out than I had been. Um, yeah, I guess specifically more push-ups and pull-ups and sit-ups, I believe, or some. I don't even remember, but basically, I think I added like 5 minutes of running to what I was already doing for my running and crap. And then in May, which is about 3 months after wrestling season ended, I actually had to go to well, actually, I think I had to go to the doctor for other reasons. Like, I had like a physical for camp or some crap like that. But yeah, like my mom was like talking to the doctor about like how I'm like really like restricting my calorie intake, and I'm like only 87 pounds and shit. And I lost like 16 pounds in a year as like a growing kid. And then, the doctor kind of like talked some sense into me, and I started eating like a reasonable amount of food, and I actually, even though I wasn't training by any means properly, doing just a bunch of random 2x20s, I started to actually like see some muscle growth that only I noticed, because like everyone else, maybe like my dad or something might have noticed, but I was basically the only person that really noticed it. And God, this video might be like too long. This might have to be in two parts. Okay, but then ninth grade. So in ninth grade, I'd been happy. I'd been making gains over the summer from eighth grade to ninth grade. I jumped up to like 102. I think, yeah, 102. Which is still very small. But anyway, I I kind of started plateauing out, and I kind of stayed at 102 for like a month or something, and I thought that I got like this new theory in my head. Now the reason why I plateaued, very simple, most likely cause is because again, I started working out more than I had been, and I probably just and I added more calories to make up for that, but I probably just didn't add enough calories to make up for that extra workout. That's probably all that happened. But I was trying to like make crazy theories and shit. So I was like, okay, so you build muscle by burning as many calories as possible and then eating them. So you're trying to maximize the amount of calories you're burning. Basically, was the theory. So I would like do all this cardio and shit, burning more calories, and burning more calories and then eating more calories as a result. I did this challenge over like Thanksgiving or something, and a couple days surrounding it. Like I would work out literally all day and eat like 5,000 calories or some shit like that. And I thought I was gonna come home after Thanksgiving break like massive, like gain like 5 pounds of muscle. It I gained like 2 pounds that went away in like a day because like it was just a like overload of water retention basically. So that was kind of depressing. And in this time, I only went up from like 102 to 106, and I wrestled in the lightest weight class for high school. And oh yeah, and then I kind of realized, or I thought at least, when I was like eating, or when I was back to eating more, I've been, as I kind of said, like letting it slide a little too much, like I needed to be like super strict about my diet, just more calories. So then that kind of led me to this very odd diet, which was basically like kind of a keto diet. Well, it wasn't that extreme, but it was like a very low carb diet, but it was still on like 3,000 calories. So I was just eating like shit ton of meat, like massive ass portions of meat, and it was just ridiculous. I'm like, I swear my mom probably spent like I I don't even want to think about how much money she spent feeding me. But it was a lot because of all that like meat and expensive stuff like that. I guess probably may as well show a picture now.